Hello and welcome to Sharing Our Cultures. This is the place where you get to meet amazing individuals from diverse cultural backgrounds who are making significant contributions to the social, cultural and economic development of Newfoundland and Labrador. Joining us today are Dr. Smita Joshi and Constanza Safatle. Welcome back to Sharing Our Cultures. Joining me now is Dr. Smita Joshi, who has been involved in multicultural education and in the community for many years. Welcome. It's good to see you again.
It's always a pleasure to see you, Loidetta.
I know. It's been a long time and I kind of miss that, not getting together.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And I think this is the first outing I've had since COVID. So Thank you for getting me out.
And thank you for taking the time to come out to be with us, because as I said, I miss the times when we used to sit around the table and plan activities for the Friends of India Association. So that was really good. Yeah.
Yeah, that's where we met. And I dug up this particular booklet.
Right,
Loidetta, I don't know if you remember this one. But this was in 2000 and 2001. Wow. You were part of my committee,
yes.
And we did some fantastic work. So I want to also thank you for what you've done for multiculturalism in this province.
That's really great, yes. Well, thank you. I really enjoyed it and I really enjoyed working with you as well. Well, I know you were personally involved in multicultural education and given the growth of a newcomer community, what has been done for multicultural education in this province?
How far back do you want to go?
Well, you were instrumental in a multiculturalism education policy back in 1992, maybe, I think.
Yeah. Loidetta, it's a really good question, okay. And I guess it's probably aging me.
Oh,
so
no.
I'm not sure how far I want to go back,
okay.
But I recall arriving in this province in the 60s, 68 in particular, and going to Holy Heart. And I was the only student come from away, the only student from Africa who looked like an Indian, who had a British passport, who spoke English with an accent, and so who was I at that time? But sisters were wonderful. This is a perfect place to come in as a newcomer, I believe.
Yes.
And they were welcoming. They made sure that I was able to share my culture. Sharing cultures was happening in 68, imagine that.
Yeah.
And since then, I think we've come a long way. We've we have a policy in place. We have the federal government, the provincial government, and the local governments working in tandem to recognize that newcomers are valued, that the culture is valued and needs to be not only respected but enhanced. And I think we have lots of grassroots communities, especially the work that you do, work with youth. We have worked with seniors, work with women, and overall I think we are on the right track. And we have a number of wonderful newcomers who are now taking on the baton and running with it. So I think it's a holistic approach. What we're doing in the province, what really matters is that each of us are connected with several subcommittees and groups. Yeah. And that, I believe, is the reason why we are really successful. I mean, when I think back of Friends of India, as you mentioned, that particular community group, founded in 1966, enhanced the values of culture, of respect, and it was called Friends of India. It was an Indian association. So people were invited to be part of that organization. And that in itself took place 20 years before multiculturalism was even in vogue. And when we were developing curriculum, we recognized the curriculum was done from a perspective of a spiral curriculum. So our students learned about the local community, then the provincial community, national community, and the world community. And so that was the spiral expanding horizon curriculum, the way it was stated. And what we did when we were developing that curriculum is that at each of these levels, we expanded our horizon to include newcomers at the local level, provincial level, national level, and global level. And that in itself was something that gave us credence to recognize that, yes, we're already doing this. Our newcomers were seeing themselves in the textbooks and the curriculum. And so at that time, the director was Wayne Oakley. He asked me, he said, will you develop a policy that will guide us, not just social studies curriculum, but math curriculum, science curriculum, excuse me, and arts, fine arts. So I developed the curriculum, the policy in 1992, and that really was the foundation for all curriculum developments, including textbooks. So when you open a math textbook and it says Jack and Jill went and added 6 apples and 9 apples, we now included names like Maya and Jill went and added their 6 apples and 9 apples. So the children were beginning to see themselves in that curriculum as well. So that was a huge step in building the curriculum beyond social studies into other areas as well.
Well, that's great, because I think people from diverse cultural backgrounds need to see themselves in all the aspects of their learning when they're in school. So as you said, Newfoundland and Labrador has always been ahead of a lot of other places as well. Yeah, so I'm thinking you've been involved so much in multicultural education. Would you share with us some of your personal accomplishments which you're proud of? I know you don't like to talk about it, but it would be nice to just share just this once.
That's a tough one, Loida. You're putting me on the spot this time.
Well, you've done so much good work in this province, and I don't think a lot of people know about it, and you don't always get the recognition for it. So this is your time.
I thank you. I thank you for that. I think what I'm most proud of is my involvement as a policy developer. And I think in particular, the policy we developed for the province, for the Office of Immigration and Multiculturalism. There I headed the Office of Multiculturalism as a director, and I developed the policy for the province. And as a result of that particular policy, we used to have a multicultural week of celebrations. And that involved the grassroots communities, it involved all the municipalities, it involved federal government and provincial government, and school children. Sharing Cultures did a big part of it. So I'm really proud of being part of the Sharing Cultures. And I thank you for your leadership in that area. But it was wonderful to see that the government buildings were all lit up with multicultural lights. And that was one of our ways of symbolizing that the province is respecting multiculturalism. And this was all across, not just in St. John's, but all across the province. We had mayors basically talking about Multicultural Week during the March 21st time. We had people lighting up in their porches, the lights, the multicultural lights that were on the streets on St. Philip's Highway, and I thought, we've arrived. This is true celebrations. And it felt like when I was at that stage, you know, how you start initiating a particular movement or ideas, and you begin slowly and you think, it's a huge mountain, when am I going to get there? Because your aim is to eventually get there. And it felt like I was on top of the mountain and was looking down, and the whole province was lit up. It was a beautiful moment, and I thank the province for that opportunity to be able to have done that. It wasn't just me, it was a team effort. And I had colleagues and the province behind that particular thing, so it's something that I'm particularly proud of.
And so are all of us, because I mean, it started small and it grew. They usually say the longest road starts with the first step, right? And there's somebody like you that had the vision and you kind of thought that this is something that we could do, and you put it together. And as you said, working with a team is also great, because I always feel that collaboration is the key to any successful endeavor. So you've done quite a lot of work. And
Thank you.
We
No, it's
that.
the teamwork.
It's the teamwork.
We can only do so much, but together we can do so much more.
That's so true.
So I'm thankful for all my colleagues as well as all my team members.
Right,
It's can be done by one person.
No, that's true. I totally agree with you. Now, I was just thinking, when you think of multiculturalism, what do you think is the future of multiculturalism in our province?
That's a really good question. I think given the momentum that we have, of course, COVID has put a little damper on our all our initiatives, but I think it's planted well. The seeds have been planted well, and I think there are lots of champions, young ones coming up who will carry this. The fact that we have more newcomers coming into the province and the need is there continues to be a good initiator for us to do some better work. The St. John's, the City Hall is doing some wonderful work with the LIP organizations. There is a council of, the Partnership Councils has membership from Rotary groups to St. John's Board of Trade. So I think we are going to do even more better things. The best is yet to come.
The best is yet to come. I like that. And that is the key. Yes, the best is yet to come. And again, just reflecting on the collaboration. You've mentioned all the different partners for the Local Immigration Partnership, the LIP, that you're involved in as well. And so that's really going to take us, the sky's the limit. It'll take us places, I'm sure.
Absolutely,
yes,
absolutely. And I think it's what's really interesting is that it has gone not just from an official education institutionalized movement, it has taken grassroots movements, and now we see farmers markets, we see this wonderful new businesses budding as a result of this, and we can see the strength of multiculturalism permeating in our society.
Well, that's great. And we now actually have multiculturalism for a whole month. So that's great. We got a longer time to celebrate.
Absolutely. It started from a week.
And now it's a month.
Now a whole month.
Well, so thank you so much for coming to join us today. We really do appreciate it. I'm so happy that you did. And it really means a lot to me because you're one of the people that really inspires me. Thank you, Smita.
Thank you, Lloydetta. You will do as well. My heart goes to and carry on the great work. I'd give you a hug, but we can't.
Thank you so much. So don't go away. Sharing Our Cultures will be right back. Welcome back to Sharing Our Cultures. Joining us now is Constanza Safatle, and she's a lawyer and an entrepreneur. Welcome to Sharing Our Cultures.
Hi, thank you.
Good. It's good to see you again.
Well, it's good to see you too.
As well, that's right. How's the family doing?
Good. Busy times,
Busy
but
time. It's good.
Good.
Yes, yeah. Well, that's good. Now, what did you think and what did you do when you came here and found out that you couldn't practice your profession as a lawyer?
Well, of course, the first feelings was I feel sad, I feel frustrated, I feel vulnerable. Because if I not practices my professional background, what I will do now, you know, to support my family, to feel good with myself as a woman. And so it was pretty hard to realize that new reality after work so hard many years to being a lawyer.
Yes. And then you couldn't practice here.
However, I feel, of course, I know that reality moved here. I moved here in support of my husband's education, so I accept that consequence. But of course, I feel always the life and give us the opportunities to be creative and reinvent ourselves. So I take this as a challenge more than a problem.
Yeah, well, that's great. Yes, so you decided to start your own business, Newborn Lander. I actually like that. It's got a certain ring to Newfoundland, Newborn Lander. So tell us about that. What does it do?
A little bit of the journey before that,
Okay, sure.
and when I moved here, I didn't speak nothing at all of English.
Okay.
So my first goal was learn the language and start to communicate with the community. So I tried to identify the key point in the community to start to do this. So I started being a volunteer at the farmers market, and I started to work in a coffee shop. And so at the farmers market, I realized that is the perfect place for taste or try something.
Yes.
And so then I was pregnant. I have my first child, my first Newfoundlander. And when Mateo, and he has 3 months, I tried to find accessories for babies. And I couldn't find nothing, nothing which appealed to me as a young mother.
Yes.
So I was looking for a really simple bandana bib.
Okay.
And actually I found one, and it doesn't have a lot of option in the market, was expensive and useful. So I realized it is a triangle of fabric. I can do it for myself. So I bought my sewing machine. I started to watch videos at YouTube, and I started to sew myself. I didn't have any experience before that. So that is how Newfoundlander started.
Okay, all right. So what were some of the challenges to actually get the business, registered and the space to do this, and, like everything that comes with running your own business?
It is still a challenge,
Okay.
I will say. It is a huge challenge. Depending, like a startup business, I think is easy, and the system allows you to try everything you want, and without incorporation, right? So you can try and taste what happened with your business, which it is amazing opportunity. And also you have the farmers market, which a perfect place to get contact and feedback from the community. But the problem, it is like, for example, making incorporation of your business when you grow and you want to hiring people, or you want to apply to grant or loan, and you need to go for the incorporation, and you cannot allow to make the incorporation if you are not a permanent resident. I am the wife of an international student. After that, I don't have permanent resident. So it is a huge struggle to me, growth my business, if I am not allowed to make the incorporation. So then, again, you need to be creative. I found my part of the director of Newfoundlander is permanent resident. It is a friend who support me. I don't need to share nothing with her. She just support me to the incorporation. So now Newfoundlander, it is in the process for incorporation.
Oh, good. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I really like that about you, like when you meet a roadblock, you just don't give up and say, oh, I can't do anything. You persevere and you try on to the next thing, So that's really good.
Oh, thank you.
So what do you think, as a newcomer and as a woman, what are some of the barriers for successful integration into this province?
Okay, so I feel the first challenge, it is networking and find your support, your community here, especially because we have huge problem in retention. So when you think you create your community, they leave and you're alone again, and that makes you feel I don't belong here, this is not my home. So I feel that is a huge topic, and also get access to information, to networking, to connect and with the community, and also when you go to one organization who support newcomers, and I think we can make a better job in collaborations, because sometimes newcomer we receive a lot of rejection from organizations depending of your status. But they don't refer to you to another organization. So I feel information is another huge topic. And I feel we have more challenges for sure, especially newcomers regarding to daycare. If my children cannot access to a daycare, how I can be entrepreneur, how I can go to English classes, how I can go and enter to the labor market. So all that are challenges which parents face that, but especially women usually is who is stayed at home and with the children. So I feel that is the huge challenge we have as a newcomer women.
and sort of a place where you can get all the information that you need at one time, as opposed to go into all the different organizations looking for that. Yeah.
And especially like, and sometimes they say like, oh, call to this number. Well, for a newcomer who is learning a language, call for cell phone and try to understand the information, process information, give an answer, and it is, I mean, it's hard.
Yes, it is. It is. And it's remarkable how far you've come with your English, to think that you had very little of it when you first came here, and you've done so well, you've worked so hard, and now you're working with the YWCA. So tell us about that. That's exciting.
Well, I am the newcomers coordinator, and I am so happy because after face like how it is being an immigrant, I am in love with that topic, and especially with women's, and I feel entrepreneurship, it is a huge opportunity. So what I do right now in YWCA, it is like I'm running a program who try to encourage women, newcomers, who want to start to explore opportunities in entrepreneurship regarding our focuses in childcare, home-based childcare.
Okay.
And however, of course, this position, I have a lot of ideas. I consider myself a really creative person. So, and my life experience here, try to navigate in the system. I feel I have so much to bring to the organization, especially as a newcomer coordinator, because I know which are the challenge and maybe solutions. So. I try to bring creativity in making proposals and to bring new projects to can help to the community and especially newcomers women.
Right, yeah. And of course, having someone like you in that position who already has the lived experience of being a newcomer, you can easily identify with the needs of newcomers, newcomer women, and how to kind of help them find solutions for that.
Right, and also make the connection with the other person who is facing barriers or challenge, you know, because I've been there.
Right, yes.
So.
Yeah, that's right. Now, before you came, you had a lot of experience working with women as well. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so in my university, always I was part of this and students who lead the School of Law and things like that. And I was in love with entrepreneurship. Always I had this in my mind. So I was co-founder and director of a program who support women, vulnerable women, and try to encourage them and teach them how to be entrepreneur.
Right, yeah.
And with that, try to support them to have a life which is like acceptable in a good conditions. And so I feel that inspired me. After when I moved here, I thought like, well, now is my time. I need to start something new like that women's. So that inspired me 100%.
Yeah. That's great, and we can see how that inspiration is working for you in everything you do. And talk about creativity. It seems like everywhere you turn, you're an innovator as well. You sort of think of ideas and projects that you've been doing, and I'm sure you'll continue to do. But how do you think the province or the government of Newfoundland and Labrador could help immigrants and newcomers that come to the province maybe integrate, settle, become successful here?
Yeah, well, I feel and I see a clear intention from the province to help and to integrate newcomers. And however, I feel always it doesn't have a recipe and to follow what is the perfect way to integrate. But I feel one part which is missed, it is about we want to learn about your culture. We want to learn about your garments and your food and your songs and dance. But how much we learn from Newfoundland.
Right, yes.
If somebody from my family come here and they tell me, hey, Connie, what is the typical dish of Newfoundland? You can cook something? No, I don't know. I can sing a song to my children about Newfoundland? No. I know about the history of Newfoundland a little bit, but for myself. I cannot find any place where we can learn about the heritage and culture from Newfoundland. Always it's about us teaching the rest where we come from. But I feel identity with your place, with with Newfoundland, it is key part for be a successful integration, because I consider myself as a Latin Newfoundland.
Yes.
Newfoundlander, sorry. And I don't need to leave my culture and forget my culture, but also if I want to stay here, I want to learn about this place.
Right. Yes.
So I will focus a little bit more, try to encourage and the programs to start to go the other side. And yes, of course, more collaboration through the and other service providers, and more information and accessibility to that information to the newcomers.
All right then. Well, thank you so much, Constanza. It's been great having you, and such a wealth of information that you have. We really do appreciate you and everything that you do in the province, and how well you've contributed to the work that we're doing here for women. So thank you so much. We really appreciate you.
Thank you for having me today.
Okay, it's my pleasure. Thank you. Thanks to Dr. Smita Joshi and Constanza Safate, and to you for joining us today. Join us next time on Sharing Our Cultures as we bring you more remarkable stories of individuals from around the world who've come to call this place home.